Good evening, everyone. My name is Brad McNamara, the co-founder of FreightFarms, a local solution for the next generation of food supply. So what is this enormous problem we're looking to solve? The problem is the global food supply system. This is a system that's built on shipping a perishable item thousands and thousands of miles every single day. And that's a logistic, distribution, business nightmare. And there's a trend right now that the solution is local. Local sourcing, local supply. But the problem is local supply can't meet that local demand, especially in a seasonal climate like New England, a lot of the United States, and most of the world. So that's a problem that presents an enormous opportunity. The opportunity to make local production possible at commercial scale, regardless of the climate. Grow food anywhere. So what's that solution look like? It's a farming platform to create high-yield crop production in any environment. It's modular, stackable, efficient, versatile, profitable, and scalable. A freight farm is a container that has become a commercial farm. We use vertical hydroponic technology, super efficient LED lighting, digital monitoring and automation to allow anyone to do this anywhere, without advanced degrees, without years of experience, and without months and months of training. So what does that look like? What does commercial production locally look like? A single freight farm producing over 13,000 pounds of basil a year. That's commercial production locally. And where can it go? Short answer, anywhere. Parking lot, vacant lot, side lot, rooftop, you name it. So that a city like Boston here could feed itself. And this example could be duplicated in any city, any state, any country across the globe. So let's look and compare. How do we stack up against the way things are done today? If you look, lettuce production, 1 acre of freight farms producing lettuce heads, over 3 million lettuce heads, versus traditional agriculture, approximately 30,000. Look at something a little more technical, a hydroponic greenhouse, 320 square feet. That's a single freight farm. We're doing 24,000. They're doing just under 7,000. So this ability puts us in a unique position in the food space so that everyone can access this technology. Because you can start with 1, quickly go to 100. Or you can start with 100 and quickly go to 1,000. Just grow more efficiently and increase your margins. So there's a sweet spot that we're in. But who can capitalize on commercial and local right now? Whose business will boom because of it? That's our target market, the wholesale distributor. It's a $17 billion opportunity in the U.S. with over 5,000 distributors across the United States, whose entire business is built on cost, quality, and consistency. They live and die with it, and FreightFarms solves that for them. And we're doing it right now. We've got 2 units up in Boston at Katsarubis Brothers, one of the largest wholesale distributors in the Northeast. There's a single unit right down the street at Clark University, growing basil and selling fresh produce to a number of clients, including Sodexo Food Service at the university. And where are we right now? Executing on sales, finalizing some letters of intent from large customers. We've got our manufacturing all set on the East Coast. West Coast is almost locked up and looking to go international. So we'll be expanding rapidly as we go. So I've told you a little bit about the problem, the solution, who we are and what we do, but you all probably want to see what's it look like on the inside without volume. It sounds better, I swear. Basically, I'm walking you through the freight farm. You take the plant off the propagation area, slide it into your vertical channel. One simple move. You take your channel, a simple pin system allows you to put it right into the system. You set it. You've loaded your system, you go to the tablet, hit auto, and the system runs itself. And that's a freight farm. Thank you very much.
I had two questions. I think the first one was, did the change in law of medicinal marijuana in Massachusetts actually change your business plan at all?
It didn't change the business plan. It has expedited conversations.
The second
Dramatically.
question is, you're going after the whole food distributors. That tends to be cutting off the value chain. That it creates competition with who they're distributing. Is that become a conflict, or do you see that as something positive or negative in terms of?
In the conversations we've had, it ends up being a positive because most of the distributors we've talked to don't want to cut off their relationships 100%. They just want to be able to control the sourcing to a certain extent so that they can actually have a little semblance of control but still maintain presence in the market.
Are you limited at all to the types of crops that you can actually grow? Are there any that you really?
There are some limitations. The product we have available is the leafy green machine. So you can grow any leaf green varieties. We're growing basil, lettuce, thyme, mint, arugula. We're rolling out, we'll have a mushroom unit end of this year, and then our vine variety for tomatoes and cucumbers and the such will be in 2014.
Brad, help me understand the cost-benefit analysis. What does this cost, and what are a wholesale distributor's costs now, which I imagine are pretty cheap? They can command good buying power.
Yeah, I mean, that was actually one of the most excruciating but exciting experiments to go through with an actual distributor. So they're actually able to grow it cheaper and possibly sell it for more. So when we went through the actual numbers with our Boston client, this is how we ended up selling them their units. They buy basil by the truckload, and they end up paying $3.75 a pound. When we ran the numbers with their labor and their costs, it ends up costing them about $2.76 per pound to grow the basil in the freight farm.
And how long does it take to break even?
About a year.
You didn't really touch on this, but is there an advantage over normal agriculture because you don't really have to use pesticides?
Yeah, I mean, with controlled environment hydroponics, there's nothing actually sprayed onto the food. There's no pesticides, there's no herbicides. The food, you can walk into a freight farm, pull leaves and eat them, and we encourage you to do so.
One last question. Any innovation, any IP you're bringing other than sort of integrating into sort of the container system?
Yeah, we do have some design IP and a number of the technology pieces that connect everything. We have IP around that as well.
The container itself seems to be a pretty key element to this whole business plan. So can you speak to where you're going to source those, prep them so they're adequate for food growth, and more importantly, you say they can go anywhere. Is there any special permitting requirements to actually allow you to position these things on a semi-permanent or permanent basis in various parts of the city or township?
Sure. As far as the containers go, we're tapping into the secondary market. Right now we're using reefer containers, no pun intended, which are part of the cold supply chain in their first life. Oh, sure. Sorry. Thank you.